Hey, and welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Tim and Jim. Jim, where are you? Jim.
No, I'm not Jim.
Tim and Alex show. Tell everyone who you are, Alex, and welcome everyone.
Yeah, well, I'm Alex Chambers. I guess a lot of you have probably seen me on the Shout Out Saturday and What's Good Wednesday shows with my daughter, Carter. And I am here to help Tim today. So, yay.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So everyone, so Alex, tell everyone a little bit about you. And you recently launched a really exciting new website. If you want to share a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, there's not much more exciting about me. So I'm from Colorado. I got my Rocky shirt on today, other side. And yeah, I just recently developed the website, LinkedInLiveShows.com, trying to really get together all of the live shows so people can view it in an easy to view calendar. And I think, Tim, you might have the website up so we can kind of take a look real quick at that and then move into
absolutely
the talk with DeeJae. So yeah, here
it is.
Here's the website. We have obviously the featured section there for some previously live shows, and you have Tim and Jim show there, and then the Shout Out Saturday and What's Good Wednesdays. And if you click on the full calendar, that's something I wanted to kind of touch on. One of the things about the calendar, I think that's not necessarily the most intuitive off the bat, is up in the right corner, you can sort the calendar by the week, the day, and the kind of agenda and the cards. If you want to click on those, Tim, yeah, it just kind of gives you the ability to kind of sort that a little bit. And then at the very bottom of that calendar as well, you can sort by category. So I think it probably will still work. It's way down at the bottom. It's got.
I don't know. We'll believe you.
Yeah. So you can select, if you want kind of the fun entertainment of the Voice or Vibe shows, or if you want some marketing content like Tim and Jim and Veronica's show as well. So. Yeah, something exciting, something we're still working on developing, and it'll take a little time to kind of get it really going, but it's something we're really excited about. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations, Alex. Thanks for sharing about that. The other thing I just want to briefly mention, I want to play a brief video. Myself and Nancy Barrows are hosting a workshop coming up, and Alex is attending, and our amazing guest. I almost said ghost. You're not a ghost, are you, DeeJae? Why personal content is your most powerful tool on October 21st. It's a free workshop coming up. So I'm just going to play a brief video from that, and then we're going to get going with DeeJae. I'm so excited.
So you guys, we had a quick little poll wondering if people would be interested in finding about why personal content is your most powerful tool, especially on social media. Both Tim and I, have radiated real bunches and bunches of times. And what we have both found is the engagement and the connection you get is so much stronger. And so we want to offer a complimentary, yes, that too. A complimentary workshop for you guys. It's going to be Thursday, October 21st. You can sign up with that bit.ly link down below. If you don't catch it now, you can DM me or Tim. We'd be happy to give it to you. And we're just going to dive in and let you know how you can make the most and make the biggest impact, create business, increase your network, and just have that true engagement that drives everything.
Yes, and yes, Brian, your comment is working.
Sweet. I actually just saw that too. I was just testing it just to make sure that.
So we'd love to see you guys all there. It's complimentary. Come hang out. Yeah, it's going to be great.
All right. So we would love if you guys signed up for that. And the link is in the comments. But without further ado, I want to bring on our guest. I feel like we need a drum roll or something. Let's do it. Welcome, DeeJae, to the show.
Hi, Tim. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
It's so great to have you here. DeeJae was in my live streaming course. I don't even remember when, or courses. And it's been a while. So it's awesome to have you on the show. So DeeJae, tell everyone just a bit about yourself and what you do in your show and whatever you want to share.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I've been waiting to be on your show and be invited for, I think it's been almost a year. I know I was talking to Gabe about how long it's been, and I've been going at it and working so hard, using all the tools and techniques that I learned in your course, and just getting into live streaming because of so many people, just amazing influencers. Yes, influencers, mentors, just taking bits and pieces from everyone to really just kind of make my own. I come from a mental health, social services background, been in it for 20 something years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you. Yes, I love it. Worked with foster kids. I've worked with various populations of adolescents, youth, adults, severe mental health issues, targeted case management. So just a lot of in the trenches with a lot of my fellow individuals with disabilities and mental health. And so live streaming came along when COVID hit. The camera became our friend, and we realized the value in camera and video. So I was terrified, but I started following some live streamers because I thought I would be a podcaster first and hide behind the microphone, not in front of the camera. But I think COVID, when it hit, it just kind of said, it is what it is, get in front of the camera. So just through a lot of guidance, I just made it up here to make my show, Let Your Mayhem Be Known. And that's really about talking about breaking stigmas related to mental health and disability, and just sharing our stories and how we're all alike and making a community. Thank you. Yes, there's my show. Monday nights. Okay, Monday nights, 7:30, but I'm going to go 6:30. I'm thinking of changing the time as winter approaches. So time change, and maybe 6:30 will be on Monday nights. So Alex, if you need that information, let me know. But really, it's just really sharing our stories. So I try to follow mental health and disability and trauma related topics, and just letting people share their experiences and their call to actions, and really highlight just, again, how we're all really similar and just have our own mayhem inside, and that it should be known and it's okay to be sharing it. So I guess that's pretty much it. I do have a job. I'm a disability navigator during the day, and I do work with job seekers with disabilities. So really, we do a lot of constant job searching virtually now, and it just gets to a point of frustration for them, as well as someone who's kind of coaching individuals and getting them through a process from overcoming their insecurities and their fears and their rejections, and putting themselves out there to really try to find a job, try to give themselves some of that value back that we all deserve and we all want. So really, that's the normal. And I did take time off for this. And so
you told me that, and I was blown away. I was like, you took time off to be on the show.
It's important. This is really, truly passionate for me, just intersecting these topics, these important things that are, to me, just to make our information, our content more accessible. It's really been a path, just learning the ins and outs and how difficult it can be for a content creator to make their information, their content accessible to others.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Let me take a step back.
But we should thank you for sharing all that, DeeJae. You have an amazing story, and I just want to welcome people into the show. Hey, Nancy Barrows.
Nancy, yes, let's welcome Nancy.
Nancy says you rock, love, and admire you.
My very first guest, one of my inspirations. Wow. Like,
awesome.
I have to, Jenny, another wonderful
Jenny
guest.
Is ready. Yes, she's ready to go. Brian Schulman says, yes, DeeJae.
We have a makeup. Do we have a makeup, Brian? Come on. I'm still waiting.
Brian says, voice your vibe. Tim, Alex, and DeeJae. It's going to be a great show. Veronica Jeans is here. Hey, Veronica.
Woo, I need to get with her too.
Yes, totally. Mackenzie
I still have a date with her. Yay, Mackenzie.
Yes. Thanks for being here, Mackenzie. Let us know where you guys are tuning in from. Melody is here from Massachusetts. Usama is here saying, Lurv.
Yeah.
We love you, Usama.
So
Lurv.
sweet, so kind. Osama's
Oh,
amazing.
There's Tina. That's my friend from Uganda. So
Oh,
she's the one
wow.
that runs
Welcome.
She Unit Uganda, which is a nonprofit in Uganda that helps girls learn skills in hairdressing and nails and making shampoos and that sort of thing, so that they can then go back and create their own businesses. So she's kind of empowering women into entrepreneurship, which is amazing.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Rob is
Awesome.
here from the Drunken Grape. Thank you, Rob. Gabe Leal is
Rob,
here.
he highlighted me on his Friday, so I appreciate Rob. And Gabe, again, just in my heart forever.
And Maria Rouse is in the house. Hey,
Maria.
Maria.
Thank
Kenneth,
you.
Kenny D is here. Hey, Kenny.
Kenny.
Not a party without DeeJae. Come on.
It's true. It's
We all
true.
know that. He brings all the scrumptiousness.
Yes, and Gracie Ruth Melendez is here.
Gracie.
Hey. We love you guys so much. There's so many of you here today. DeeJae, you are famous. You are like Dan Hall is here.
Daniel,
Dan.
another great guest with a great story. I need to get with him again too.
Yes.
I just really enjoy being available to help others, and Daniel helps others, and I just like to surround myself with people with big hearts that really just advocate for good values and community and just really being our best selves and welcoming others. So it's just amazing. I love the LinkedIn live streaming community. So I've learned so much in such a short time.
Yes, you have. Russ Hedges here. Hey, Russ.
Hi, Russ.
Oregon. And if
have
I
so
missed
many
any of you,
people.
I'm sorry. There are so many of you today.
Yeah,
But know that
that's
we
good.
thank you, and you are all amazing for being here.
Yeah, let's get to
DeeJae,
it.
yeah, let's dive in. So DeeJae, actually, Alex, do you want to take question number 1 for DeeJae?
Yeah, sure. So what does digital accessibility mean, and how important is it?
Ooh, I mean, it's super important. I hope we all know what digital accessibility is. Really, accessibility is making your content, your documents, your cloud-based services, your websites, your mobile, everything accessible to anyone that has a disability, various disabilities. It really is important to be inclusive, to make your information. There's so many millions of users out there that use our computers. We're home, and with COVID, it's really like the number has skyrocketed. I don't talk about statistics, but I really do just advocate for making our content accessible and finding ways to make things a little bit more inclusive. I know that really when we make our content and we create our web pages, we really always think about just the visual aspect of it. How does it look? Is it, kind of getting the message across? And that's all important. But again, you don't want to make it accessible too. Or it should always be very perceivable and available to people and operable and understandable and robust, meaning it can be accessed from all different kind of devices. So really those are 4 concepts that you think of, digital accessibility. And yeah, it's really like if you start in the process sooner and implement it into how you create your content, and you really consider how's it going to look, how's it a screen reader going to access your information, you just get that much more support. You just get that much more, I want to say profit, right? Because I think that a lot of us really start a business because we have a desire to be successful, but you don't realize sometimes that you're being excluding. And so I think it does take a little bit of attention, and it's something that you have to be attentive to and incorporate conscientiously, because it's so easy to kind of just forget about it, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling.
No, that makes a lot of sense. That's great info.
Okay, yeah. You just think of how many people can't. So I don't know if I'm going to start getting ahead on my questions, but I don't know. What's the next question?
Let's dive into what are some key web content accessibility guidelines?
Guidelines, following those wonderful web content guidelines. Yes. there's standard rules out there, folks. There's rules that people have been working on. Developers, now I'm not a developer, I'm just a live streaming creator and growing. But
what do you mean just? No just.
No just. But this is something that I really do take seriously, and I really try to learn in the process. And Tim, I know we've had these conversations way before when I first started live streaming, and it's come up a couple times. And I have my recent story about having to change because of integration issues, not having those accessibility integration into my live streaming.
Right.
So, but I think once software developers and website developers start to really just be a little bit more attentive to those guidelines, it'll be easier to really have other services kind of jump on board and saying, okay, there's an easier way to integrate all this. Because right now it really is super difficult. I've had to stumble and try to put one software with another software. And then when you're doing multiple software, things get crossed pretty terribly.
Right.
And that's how you learn and grow, though. And I'm not going to give up. I know that it is really important, and that's requirement by law to make those websites accessible to others. I mean, it is really fundamental. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. Gabe has a question. He says, what is the hardest part of creating content that will translate into something more digital, accessible? Accessible.
Okay. Yeah. What is the hardest part of creating content that will translate? I think if you start from the beginning, just being conscientious of it, it's not too hard. I think that just understanding those key concepts of colors and contrasts and fonts, just basic. When I make a piece of, let's say when I make my board for my show, I want the letters to be as big as possible. The photos, maybe the imagery can be a little bit smaller, but the letters, I try to make them big so they can be seen. At the same time, that's just an image. So then you have to go back into your event page. And this is where we get into a little technicality. As an actual production live streaming part of it, you have to go back and add your alt text. You have to tell a screen reader that there's an image here. It's a title card. It's for the show. It's this image says that it's this guest. And you're really telling the screen reader what the image is, because the screen reader is not going to read an image. And it's just like using different other social media platforms. When you're putting your imagery on there, you want to go back and fill in the alt text. It's really extra step. And again, platforms don't make it easy. They do not. They add you one or two extra steps where you have to go, or you have to send your assistant, right? Or you have to tell your web developer, hey, please make sure that you incorporate this consistently into my your marketing and what you're doing, your strategies. It really should be, again, something that you take into consideration in the beginning is, what does it look like? The colors, the lettering. I mean, keeping your branding true to you, but simplifying it and not adding so much. It can get, nobody likes to go to a website that they can't read, they can't see, they're so lost, it's disorganized. I mean, even just as quote unquote abled bodies, between the three of us really being able to work in this profession and really produce content, we have to be utmost considerate. But it's unfortunate that, we have to jump through hoops creating our content to make it more accessible. And it really does make it harder, as much as inclusive as I want to be and as accessible as I want to be. And as much as that I want to say, I'm here for people with disabilities or mental health issues that do want to live stream, that do want to create content. Don't feel like you can't do it. Don't feel like, if someone told you no, that you can't do something, move forward. And there's other people to lift you up, and the law protects you. I love that, that's important to always go back to encouraging others, because society can be really damaging on one's spirit and one's, self-worth. So, but going back to accessibility, I just feel that it is important to advocate for this as a mental health advocate. Although I'm not a developer, I'm not But I know there's organizations that I'm looking into for digital accessibility that I want to join and be a member of, and really like start to understand all the nooks and crannies about content accessibility. So I can be like really incorporate that into my branding, and then help others that really are that open to diversity. And I find it really empowering to being able to uplift others and just having my content available. But it's not easy, and there's a lot of barriers, just like it's barriers to them to get the information. It's barriers for us to make it.
Right.
And
That's so true. Yeah.
You get lost and they
And I
get
like
frustrated.
Yeah. I like what you were saying about like, you want to be considerate of people, right, that have disabilities. But you were also saying before, like, it also ties back to your profit. And like, when you do this, it's going to increase the visibility of your brand. More people are going to be able to consume your content more easily, right, as well.
Yeah. I think, just again, fine. And I think it's going to be more popular, right? This is going to be becoming a more hot button issue, or I should say more advocates are going to step forward saying digital accessibility is now more important than ever. So really being in the forefront and advocating for that, and just, nobody, this is my opinion, nobody wants to get sued, right? Nobody wants to come and get sued.
Right.
So like, just take care of it up front. Just, be considerate and kind. It doesn't have to be for any other reason. Like, that's the reason it should be, is because you want to be inclusive generally. Like, it's important to you. But
yes,
again, just finding teammates, coworkers, colleagues that really also hold those similar values will make it that much easier.
Yeah. That's
Definitely.
a great point. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a quick 15-second break for a video from our sponsor, StreamYard, which we use every week to produce this show and many others. So we'll be right back. And we are back. We're doing the Tim dance.
Yeah.
Yes, we're doing the Tim dance.
Drinking water, staying hydrated.
Hydration, yes. Welcome back, everyone. We're here on the Tim and Jim show with DeeJae, and we're so excited to have her. And we're talking about accessibility and marketing and business and all these exciting things. Alex, take next question for DeeJae.
Yeah, what are some tools that you recommend for digital accessibility?
Good. Oh, some tools recommend. Okay, I'll start with some of the basic ones that I fundamentally just naturally go to. If I'm making shorter videos, which I haven't been lately, but if I make short videos, 1 to 2 minute videos, I take that. If I do it in my phone, and I use Subly. I personally am an advocate for Subly, because not that I am like an ambassador or anything. I'm not. But I like to use that app, is what I'm saying. You get I think you get less than an hour the first month or per month, but I don't really make short video clips. And if, as a creator, if I was to make more short videos, that's something we have to consider, right? And then again, profits, budget, marketing, gotta love it, how it piles on. But Subly, yes. So that's one that I like to use for short videos. If we're doing like longer live streaming videos or workshops, you're facilitating something, you're inside Zoom or you're inside Teams. Teams is great because it has the captions inside. Zoom doesn't, so it has the integration with Otter. Otter's another one that's really popular. Otter AI. It really provides you notes and transcriptions. Yes. So it's really fantastic. A lot of like, as this becomes something that's more to talk about and just becomes forefront of how we're making content on the front end and including those kinds of considerations on the front end. I guess it's nice to have those tools within. If you use Chrome, your browser, they should have some settings that populate captions. Now, I know I'm talking a lot about captions because we stream, so visually we're here, but for right now, there's no captions running for us between us. And if you're on LinkedIn, you're watching on LinkedIn, there's captions there. If you're on Facebook, there's captions there.
Yes.
So I know different platforms are really now, and it took LinkedIn quite a bit to really get those captions on there.
Yeah.
They were kind of
It
on the
did.
back end when Facebook had captions for quite a while now. They've really integrated. In YouTube, you want to set those settings. So making sure your settings are set. I stream on Twitch.
Yeah.
So you stream on Twitch, you got to make sure you put your extensions in there for closed captioning. I think there's 2 extensions that are really great. So you can incorporate those. So again, every platform needs the TLC. Go in there, learn the accessibility features that those platforms offer. You can always help. You can always help your audience. You can always help those that are in your workshops or that are participating in your services, guiding them. Hey, do you need captions or visual descriptors? I always like to talk about visual descriptors, just saying, hey, I'm DeeJae. I've got silver hair. I'm wearing a gray shirt today with some rhinestones. I'm wearing purple lipstick. I have a big smile on my face. Welcome to the group. That really helps include someone that may be visually impaired, has low vision, but you don't know. So let's talk about the you don't know.
Yes.
Real quick, I'm going to go off on a soapbox. Another soapbox.
Go
Jump.
for it.
But what do our headings say normally? Our LinkedIn headings, our Twitter headings, our Twitch headings, our YouTube. I mean, we don't put our disabilities blatantly anywhere on there. So if someone has some vision issues or hearing issues, we don't know. We don't know
Right.
unless that they are really putting it out there and expressing that. So it's,
Right.
again, just to be inclusive and not assume that everyone can see what you're putting out there so clearly the way you see it. Or if you're having somebody else create it for you that has great vision, I mean, maybe,
Yeah.
and a lot of us wear glasses. So, at least we can say, okay, I don't wear glasses, folks. I don't wear glasses.
Right.
But, imagine taking your glasses off and trying to look at that or do that or process that. So I really think, just giving it those, working with your team. How does this look? Imagine if your glasses were broken. Imagine if your machine, your accessibility tools broke. It's just, I know it's a lot to consider, but again, once you start including it and incorporating it and just kind of understanding very basic bare minimums, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah. And I think those are great points, DeeJae. And I think too that I think the live streaming platforms also have a long way to go in terms of like this caption here, right? Like I can't move this caption and there is subtitles that are going to be like going over this, not caption, but comment.
I know what you
comment, I mean.
The comment, right.
You know what I mean? Like the location of things on the screen, like, and especially like if you watch on desktop versus mobile and where everything is and when you're planning out your show, just like from a producer perspective or a host perspective, right?
Yes.
Like there's things you want to be able to do.
Yes.
You get that.
Yes. Right. And that is true. That's important. You have to think where those captions are going to be reading. When you're making your clips of your videos to give to your guests for promotional purposes, are you burning those captions in there for them before you give them away? You should just burn the captions in there. And that will just, as the creator and as that producer, you're providing that it's inclusive. It doesn't really put the burden on someone else. I mean, putting the burden, nobody wants the burden put on them. Like, oh, now I have to go figure out how to do this. Oh, now I have to go figure out how to do that. So, I mean, closing in those gaps, meeting people where they're at. I talk a lot about that. And again, it's just thinking what works for you and what systems and what how you're marketing your business, right? What platforms you're using to market your business and knowing those platforms and those features and how you can use that to your advantage and really use what you're already quote unquote paying for.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's so true.
I just keep going. I'm sorry.
Yes.
No,
I can tell you're passionate about the issue.
Yeah.
That's for sure. The topic.
And
but we should thank everyone. Sorry, Alex.
I was just going to say one of the things that I really took from what you said is that, we can't assume And, that sometimes we don't necessarily even know that we're assuming certain things, and, being able to have you here and explain that to us, because there's some things that you said that I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I have made those assumptions without knowing that I'm making those assumptions. And, what they say about assuming, I won't say it, but,
Right.
but yeah, so yeah, I
acronym.
think all that's great. And it really bringing awareness to some of those assumptions that we're making.
Oh, thanks, Alex. I appreciate that. I love the comments. I know Juana's here. Hi, Juana.
Yeah, there's so many people here.
Ingor, great
Juana,
discussion. Thank you.
Ingor, so
Oh.
many of you here. Gail
Juana's
Robertson is here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many things to talk about, and we could go on and on. I know, like, we don't have that much time, but.
Yeah, we have a few more minutes. Is there anything else you want to talk about more, DeeJae, in terms of live streams and accessibility, or did you pretty much cover what you wanted to say about that?
Like, I don't know. I once I get going, I just get going.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could look at my notes, but I don't really want to go back digging too hard. I kind of just want to stay where I'm at and not really start a whole other leg of this conversation. I like the comments. I can, go back to the comments and agree with never assume, always ask. Just if you don't know, ask someone to look it over and say, hey, what do you think about this? With that open-mindedness, just that consideration. Yes, not ideal. Right, Juana, thank you. Always so wonderful and supportive.
And some platforms do let you do that for live streaming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, just, consider how you can make your information just that much more accessible. Not clogging up your website, not clogging up your stream, not, just making it simple and really just staying true to what the message is, the value that you're trying to bring, I think. And just considering devices that read that information, screen readers, other devices that may be consuming your information, that it's not a human for a human.
Did you want to share the website you showed me before, DeeJae, with that feature it has?
Mine?
Yeah.
What? Mine? Okay, yeah, sure. The other thing was when we were talking about for the shore was Alex, the Braille. So yeah, there are machines that will read the screen and they will put it on a Braille reader so your fingers can feel what you're reading, right? Because they're visually impaired. So there's just so many different things that you have to consider that are consuming your information other than just a human pair of eyes or human ears to really access that information and provide that information and that service. And so many people feel so lost. Like, how do we all feel when we can't get our hands on the information we need? We can't get through. Why can't we get through? Nobody wants a 404.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Let me go ahead and share my screen. I'll just show my website because it's not professionally done. I said this when we were talking. It's a DIY website, but it's quite simple. Yeah, go ahead and we'll go. I know it takes. There we go. This is my wonderful website. It has my name. Now, even this is kind of hard to read, but it's pretty simple. It's just a few words about who I am. And it's still true to my brand. I have someone that helps me, but really what the best thing that I want to make a point of is this little widget right here that has the handicap symbol. It really just allows the user, whoever's going to come, or the accessibility to come and check and say, okay, how do I want to make that bigger? I can't see that, right? So, okay, or they want to resize it. So it's just easy and you're not fumbling through your phone, this software, that software. This is a WordPress, and I know WordPress also is looking into creating their websites more accessible, easier. But you can choose colors. It can highlight the link. So it says, this is a link. It's telling it, these are links. These are all links. These are all links. Right. This is not, there's no links here, so it's not going to highlight that. And then there's links down here. So, just inserting something like this on your website really does help. Clear cookies. Yeah, wow, I did. I'm going to rehaul it again. So this one is just inverting the color. So if someone has vision, like color blindness, I know someone very special that has color blindness. So, want to go on there and they want to check it because maybe they see these colors as opposed to the other colors. So it's really whatever works for them and is easiest for them. I know, remove animation. Sometimes a lot of us with cognitive disabilities or, other movement. You can't have that movement coming. It startles. I mean, mental health issues, PTSD, whatever. You want to remove those animations. The sound starts playing. So it really is important to kind of look at that fox. Oh goodness. But anyways, but that's it. I just wanted to share that, just get on there and let's see. You can just, we can go back to reset everything, I guess.
Okay.
But it's on there. And right here, I'm going to click on the link from where I got it from. So this is what I'm using. It's the WP WordPress Accessibility Helper. So it makes it easy and you can go on there and add one of those to your websites. There's so many different service providers that do that, but it really just, once you install it, you just kind of set it and forget it. I know that sounds so cheesy from the 80s, but there you go. That's another way to make your stuff more accessible and fairly quickly and just, email your developer, your software person.
Yeah.
Make sure it's on there, please. But yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, DeeJae.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So DeeJae, before we wrap up, are there any other resources that you could point us to in terms of accessibility and digital and things like that?
Oh gosh, did I not do good enough job already? Goodness. Let's see. Well, okay. So let's go back to really the law real quick. Okay. There are other access. So just Google digital accessibility. There's digital.gov. I mean, there's just so many resources out there for you to know exactly what you need to make sure that your stuff. But again, see, once you put in a little widget or one of those overlay things, I forgot what they're called. But it really, you can kind of feel like you're doing your part. You're being inclusive. You're being accessible. So, I mean, it's little things like that you can start doing. I don't full of resources, but as we close up, I think, those are really good places to start. Good places to start, right?
Definitely.
Awesome. Yeah. Yes, definitely.
That's how I started. That's just me clawing at the wall.
Yes. Well, thank you, DeeJae.
You're welcome.
Alex,
do you have anything you want to ask or say?
Put me on the spot here. Yeah, no, I just think it's amazing. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, you brought awareness to me of things that I had made assumptions of, and so I'm very grateful for that. And I think a lot of people became aware of things that they were also making assumptions of. So I think this was great.
Yes,
yeah, for
wonderful.
sure. So DeeJae, how can people connect with you beyond the show?
Well, LinkedIn, I think right now is still the way to go. I'm still wondering, I'm still kind of putting some other things in place so I can have a better fundamental. But LinkedIn works. I have my email, silverfoxtalks@gmail.com. You can always email me as well. And my website, my accessible website. Yes. I'm going to be updating that a little bit more just to have current stuff. And then as we go into 2022, which I'm super excited about, I've got so many projects in the work and I'm just like an independent silent worker. So nobody really knows what I'm working on. Sometimes I don't know what I'm working on, but some good big things.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, we'll be looking out for them.
We will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, DeeJae. And next week, we're going to have Debbie Burke on the show. She's an author, and she's going to be talking about how her blog has been instrumental. She's also a musician in building her author brand. So we're super excited to have her. I used to freelance for her, I don't know how many years ago, and she worked for a business journal around here in Pennsylvania. So I'm super excited to have her on the show next week. So definitely come back for that episode. And thanks, DeeJae. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, everyone, for another episode of the Tim and Jim Show. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.